So, all right, it's 1 o'clock. Let's get rolling. So I'd like to call this meeting of the Flagstaff City Coconino County Library Board to order. And we'll go ahead and start by having Amelia call the roll.
Brent Garcia.
Here.
Lisa Gingney.
Here.
Supervisor Begay.
Here.
Councilmember Garcia.
I am present.
Pamela Buzzard. Present. Shannon Greenwood. Don't see a Shannon yet. Catherine Moore. Here. Katie Quick.
Here.
Very good. All right. Do we have anyone for public participation? Does not appear so.
Well, we do have a member of the public. I don't know if she had anything for participation or not.
No, thank you. I'm just tuned in to learn about what you all do and to learn more about our library system. No comments today, though. Thank you.
Very good. All right. If we could just take a minute to take a look at the January 23rd minutes, we'll look for a motion to approve those in just a second. And whenever anyone's ready, I will entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve the January minutes.
Lisa has moved to approve. Thank you very much. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those against, please signify with the same. All right, so the ayes have it. The minutes are approved for January 23rd. So that next item, the information, communications, and disclosures from board liaisons and staff, is there anything under that particular item? Okay. Seeing none, we will move directly on to the director's report. Linda, you're on.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and highlight a few items out of the director's report that you received in your packet. One of the first things I'd like to highlight is our Southwest Reads program, which featured a walk in the park by Kevin Fedarko, which was a pretty exciting one since he's a local author, and also because the book chronicles his 750-mile hike through the Grand Canyon, along with a National Geographic photographer, Peter McBride. So we received rave reviews about that program, and it was exciting that we were able to host it here. And then on the next page, page 2 of my report, I'm happy to report that we have our new library security cameras installed, and we're really excited about them. The quality of the images is wonderful, and also the software is really smart. It has capabilities where we can ask it to bring up footage of someone with a yellow baseball cap, or it's very sophisticated compared to what we had before. So we're super excited to have those in place, and a shout out to Mark Caesar for getting that project up and running for us. Mark, did I miss anything important that you wanted to add?
Nope, that's all the basics.
Okay. Also on page 2, you might see that we had a new resident in the library parking garage, and there was quite a bit of discussion among staff about whether Mr. Bunn, as he became known, was a wild rabbit or a tame rabbit. We called the Humane Society, we did various things, ended up trapping him in a humane trap, and he was later released into Mark Caesar's yard along with some other wild bunnies. So we haven't heard anything since about Mr. Bunn, but we do know that he really prefers fresh blueberries, organic apples, and that he's not going to be trapped with something less than that. So. And then on page 3, I just wanted to point out Forest Lakes is working with a local community group to get a volleyball court up and running behind the library. And the library is going to supply the balls, a pump, and other items needed. So they're going to have some library of things items that are directly connected to people using that volleyball court behind the library. So kind of a great little partnership there. And Forest Lakes is really great about seeing what the local needs are and having the library participate. And then on page 4, some of the really exciting news is that our bookmobile is up and running. The bookmobile driver finally received her CDL. She had to be very persistent because she ran into some issues with the folks providing the training, but it's done. The bookmobile is out there.
Yay. And shout out to Nate because he went out of his way to really help Becca be able to get her
I'll
CDL.
explain who Nate is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nate is the fleet services manager for the city.
So
Yeah, I was
those are-
driving back in from Loop the other day and saw it on the road on its way out there, and I was super excited to see it.
Nice.
I saw it on my daughter's agenda for her school, and I was like, yay! Yay!
If anyone has any questions about those items or other items in my report, I'm happy to respond.
I want to know how the bunny knew that blueberries were organic.
They taste better.
Just kidding. All right. With no questions for Linda, we'll move on to Amelia's statistical update.
Okay. I have a little PowerPoint thing for you if I can get it on the Teams here. Not tried this before. It says PowerPoint Live. Oh, is that
Nice.
sort of?
Oh, maybe that one's the primary monitor.
Okay, let's try. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the statistics and strategic plan update for y'all. Most of these stats are coming from fiscal year 24. So July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2024. So we're gonna start off with a little quiz. So feel free to shout out your answer, say it quietly in your head if you're happy with just knowing in your heart that you're right, or raising your hand if you'd like to try to be the one to answer. So true or false? More people came into the Coconino County Libraries in fiscal year 24 than attended a Phoenix Suns home game in the 23-24 season.
That's true.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, it is true. 791,000 people visited the libraries compared to 699,000 who attended Suns games last season. Now, true or false? The libraries had more than 3,000 programs last fiscal year. I see some nods.
300. I'll say false.
Okay, we got a false, so we got a true. False. We had 2,924 programs with approximately
So close.
46,000 attendees.
Wow.
True or false? Flagstaff Interlibrary Loan received more than 5,000 requests.
Yes, true.
Got a solid true online.
I say true.
True's here in the room as well. True. ILL received 7,000 requests and processed 2,000 loans. And that's both loans we've received for our library patrons and loans we've loaned out. We are a net lender, so we loan more than we borrow, which
That's
is
the difference in the numbers.
no. So requests is, it might be something that's just completely unavailable, or it might be something that we have in our collection, so we don't process it as an ILL, and instead we place a hold for them. So of this, I want to say 600 to 800 is ones we borrowed for our patrons, and the rest are ones that we've loaned to others. So when you're a net lender like that, it generally means you have a really robust collection.
Do you want to give a quick, just for people newer to the board, what interlibrary loan is?
Oh,
that it's
yeah.
borrowing books from other.
Yeah, so for those who might not be familiar with it, interlibrary loan, or ILL, is a nationwide process where you can borrow books from other libraries for your patrons, and then they can also do the same from your collection, so that not all libraries have to own all books. And it also allows for some of the maybe more esoteric or older and harder to find materials that you just don't have the community demand for, to be able to still be able to get those books for the people in your community. These requests would also include something that's maybe sent to ILL, and then Emily, who's our staff member, might look at it and say, you know, this is really a book we should have in our collection anyway. And so then we just purchase the book instead of borrowing it from another library. So now we have multiple choice questions for you. What was the value of materials loaned in fiscal year 24 by county libraries? This does not include Sedona, the law library, or the jail, because we just don't have the stats for them. So 4.8 million, 6.9, 8 million, or 10 million.
I think I'm gonna go with 8.
Okay, we've got an 8 in the room,
I go with 10.
got 10 in the room.
I'll go 6.
For the county libraries, it was $10 million.
Wow, very cool.
What was the value for just Flagstaff?
Oh, wow, those choices.
Same numbers.
5 million?
We've got a 6.9 here in the room. It was the 6.9. Now switching to the strategic plan side of things, how many goals are on the strategic plan?
9.
4.
7. How many have been worked on over the last year?
5.
All 7. We've worked on, done something for all of them. So now these next figures I'm going to share, these are based on 2022 figures, because these are nationwide figures collected through the Institute of Museum and Library Services at the federal level. So it's a little more of a delay, but they'll let you compare your library to other libraries across the US. So what I compared us to was 24 other libraries that are within 5% plus or minus of our service population here in Flagstaff. So this is just looking at the Flagstaff libraries. We have an operating budget of $43.40 per capita. The median for these 25 libraries in total is 66.91. So working with quite a bit less money per capita, we are at median in collection expenditures, how much we spend per person here, and in checkouts for both physical and e-materials. On average, 4.7 people check out our materials. We are over the median in library visits, reference transactions, and physical computer use. We are significantly over the median, which I'm defining as 170% above the median or more in interlibrary loan circulation, physical collection size, and Wi-Fi use. So people using their device, but in our building with our Wi-Fi, or in our parking lot with our Wi-Fi. So on to more about the strategic plan. We have 7 goals. We have 43 tasks. 3 of those are new, so you haven't actually seen those yet because we've added those as we go as needed. Those are the 3 new ones are coordinating outreach efforts between departments and locations, organizing and approving outreach efforts to ensure they align with our strategic direction, and assessing and evaluating the security coverage, outcomes, and needs annually. So of those 43 tasks, which is how we break down our 7 goals into bite-sized chunks that we can tackle, we've done 27 updates. I should say recorded updates. There have been other updates, but people don't always write them down in the plan, like, oh yes, I did work on this and we did this. So as a refresher, these are the 7 goals. And then I'm just gonna do a few highlights of some of the updates we've done over the year. So we've created a community needs survey, which will be going out with the local water bill soon to the community. We reclassified the EFCL supervisor to a branch manager, which let us be able to conduct a successful recruitment for that. And we're looking forward to that person starting next Monday. HR has just completed a competitive market pay study, which will be implemented with our next fiscal year. We updated 2 of our policies, and then we have 2 more, of course, that we're bringing to you today for review. We've done a new approach to coordinating our outreach efforts. We identified offsets as part of our budget process to be more efficient with our funding. Bookable bill service, of course, resumed, and we've offered multiple staff trainings. And these are just some of the trainings that we've been able to either send staff to or hold locally for them in order to help improve the service and the efficiency of our staff here.
So do those fall under the 43 tasks?
Yes.
With the community needs survey, that is clearly just going out to Flagstaff residents. How do you capture people like me who live in the county, but Flagstaff is still our hub?
Right. So the survey is also going to be available on our website.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what other things Mary might have identified. I'm looking at Jennifer and Linda in case she's told you. Other ways of capturing, because I had the same question, because also renters don't always pay their water bill, or if they pay their water bill, it's a portion of their rent and not something that they ever see their physical water bill, so they want to get that survey as well. So I do know it's also going to be on the website.
Yeah, I think she has plans to market that fact that it's going to be on the website to try and capture some of these other groups that you mentioned. And we can have Mary come and talk about, what, I mean, it'd be better if it's once the survey's been done. But we can have her come in and speak to things like, answer questions like that, and also share findings.
That would be great.
that's all I have for you.
All right. Thank you, Amelia. That was really a good presentation, both of you. Okay, action items. The first one is to review and adopt updates to the public internet access fair use policy.
And just as a bit of clarification of what this is and why you're seeing two different policies. So this one is the one when you go to use our computers that pops up and says you're agreeing to this policy in order to access our computers. That's what this first one is.
Okay.
Amelia has been chairing the committee that is reviewing policies.
Oh, I'm not chairing. Mary's chairing.
Mary.
Oh, she's but I'm on it.
You're on it. So, yeah, and if you have questions about the discussions, and then I review each of these before they come to you as well.
Believe how old.
Isn't it amazing? I'm
Yeah.
a guy, I've been at this writing songs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So can somebody explain why the decision was made to not require a library card for usage and why the usage time is it doesn't look like there's any limit.
Yeah, so part of it was just cleaning it up so that we didn't have something written down that we might change as a matter of procedure. So computers are available free of charge to everyone. If you don't have a library card, you can get a guest pass. So it wasn't accurate to say only for library card users.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about the pass.
Yeah, for the time frame, we recently actually decided to bump up our session length to 2 hours. If that ends up causing a problem of people waiting to get onto a computer because people aren't finishing their sessions and leaving, then we might need to bump it back down. But we did it as a test at EFCL for a little while and didn't have any problems. So that's why we're removing that as part of the policy. So it's just something we can change as needed without having to come back and be like, guess what? We're now going back to 1 hour from 2 hours.
That makes sense. Thanks for explaining.
And this just may be my school experience speaking, but are there any search filters on the machines in the library?
Absolutely. Mark might be best to speak to what exactly we filter, but yes, we are required by CIPA.
Yeah.
To filter.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the group? And hearing none, then Linda and Amelia, is there anything that stuck out to you that you would like us to be aware of that maybe we didn't catch?
I don't think so. A lot of this was basically just cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And making it a little easier for the user who is agreeing to know what they're agreeing to, as well as removing some of the things that are maybe out of date. like saying staff isn't able to answer questions about using the internet. No, we absolutely are. We just, if you have a very detailed question, we might ask you to schedule a training session.
Or the part about dial-up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that was funny.
So, just largely it was just a cleaning up of the policy this time.
Yeah,
Okay,
making
very
it a little
good.
more succinct was, I think, one of the things that you did a good job on.
All righty then.
So this whole thing pops up on the computer when they log in?
Yeah, you have to
Fair
click
use policy.
agree to all this in order to be able to get in.
All right, we will take a motion to accept the updates to the public internet access fair use policy.
I'll make a motion to accept the updates.
Thank
the
you,
policy.
Katie. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Not you, Dave.
All right, we have a motion and a second. And any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, please say aye. Okay, the ayes have it. So we have approved the updates. And now the same for the next policy, which is the technology use policy.
These apply to all the libraries? They can't have their own, they don't want to do 2 hours at the Grand Canyon.
Right, yeah, they can, it can be set for each library. And yeah, so this policy is a little more general as compared to the other. It talks about any electronic resource from the library. So Wi-Fi use, databases, any of that are covered by this technology use policy.
I had a quick question. Maybe this is a silly question, but I know it mentions, people will not upload any software to the computers. Would that be recognized by the filters that we were talking about a moment ago?
Yeah, I believe you're simply unable to, I think the computers are locked, so you cannot upload software. Mark's probably
That's a
better.
good Mark answer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Amelia. Our domain policies don't allow the installation of new applications.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. I notice it says permanent storage isn't available. I get that part. Do these machines have the ability, like could they save stuff onto external drive?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And someone could, I think, correct me if I'm totally off here, Mark, someone could temporarily save something to a computer, but as soon as they logged out, it would be erased. So I think that's why it specifies permanent.
That's correct. You can save to the desktop, but as soon as the computer reboots, it resets and everything that the user did gets wiped out.
Okay, perfect. What's the charge for printing?
15 cents for black and white and 25 cents for color, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And
20
then,
cents if it's
so
double-sided.
15 cents, single-sided black and white, 20 cents, double-sided black and white, 25 cents, single-sided color, 30 cents, double-sided color.
Wow.
So still the cheapest in town, for sure.
It's way more than I expected. Not the cost, the amount of categories.
Steps, yeah.
I actually personally like the part where you're going to try to limit how many people are at a desktop at one time, because it's, I mean, as a user myself, even just accessing the card catalog, sometimes people are spilling over a lot into your space and you know, and also they get noisy, like too noisy if there's like a big group sometimes. So
Any more questions?
Somewhat of a question regarding the printing. Just talking to some folks who are currently using the library for, oh, sorry, hang on, hold on. Sorry, 3-year-old. Some folks who are currently using the library's printing services for like job hunting and printing off resumes. Is there an option for some point in the future to do like a community fund to cover just job hunting printing fees? I know that's been for some folks who are currently unemployed or underemployed, when they're bulk printing off resumes and stuff like that, it kind of does get costly. And so I don't want the library to have to absorb that, but is that something that we could discuss at some point in the future, or is that not quite appropriate?
Yeah, I guess the difficulty with that might become if we start saying that certain things are free to print because we think what you're doing is important, and then we're saying to other people, well, we don't think that's quite as important. We get into kind of a judgment there.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think people can go to workforce services and get a lot of those types of things for free, though.
And I will just add, I know occasionally people will leave their change in the machines or whatever, and staff will collect that over time. So we do have a little coin cup, if you will, of just kind of discards that if someone's in a situation like that and tells staff, I know staff have been like, oh, well, we can cover that from this, you know, extra that people have left behind. So there is a little flexibility there. It's not a policy or anything like that, but it is something
We don't
staff
have
have
any
helped
finance
with.
people in the room, do we? We're not allowed to have a little slush fund.
No, we're talking people put in a quarter and leave their dime.
I'm kidding. No, I think, and I think a lot of libraries do that.
Yeah.
Kind of like the lead.
That absolutely makes sense. Yeah. No, thank you.
All right, so Linda and Amelia, anything in this policy that we didn't catch that you wanted to point out?
I thought it was good that we were able to take out the part that says we didn't create the internet and we're not responsible for what's on it, because I think we've had the internet long enough that we don't have to say that anymore. I think people know that we didn't.
Yeah.
Yes, it was in need of updating for sure. All right, so given all of that, I will entertain a motion to adopt the technology use policy.
I move to adopt the Flagstaff City, Coconino County Technology Use Policy.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. And we now have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. And we've approved the update to the technology use policy. Any informational items or requests from board members? I think my only one is that I'm really trying to figure out a time I can go see the inside of that bookmobile. That's my new goal.
We'll try to see if Becca has time during a board meeting to bring it, and then everyone can go out and take a little tour.
Yeah, we do have Bookmobile and PALS, well, Bookmobile is scheduled, it's not till September, but
That's
we do
okay.
have it scheduled for September to come, so.
Okay. That would be great. Let's do it at the end of the meeting because you probably won't be able to get me out of there. All right. Anything else from any other board members?
Hello? Hello?
Hi, Judy.
This is Supervisor Begay. Only thing I want to report is that the county board of supervisors will be going out and doing their budgets starting the first week of May. So currently, we're looking at all the departments to start looking at their budgets, see where certain things, see what their needs are, and just every year what they go through. I'm not sure. I think some of us are concerned as board members of the the funding might be fluctuating, or we might get a little less than what we're getting. So we're kind of leery about that, but I just want to let you know that, I think we really need, as a library board, I think we need to find out where, if we have to give and take, where is that going to be? So kind of, because I think that's going to be one of the questions that the board may be asking of all the departments, supervisors and stuff like that. So we don't know. We've been hearing 10% across the board. We've been hearing this and that. So it's going to really cut into our budgets. And so that's the only thing that I want to really share with you guys, because I don't think we're going to probably be getting the same amount of dollars that we've been getting the previous years. So that's just my report out to you all. So it's not something that's good news, but it's something that we really it can become a reality. We don't know until maybe further down the road, but still yet, somehow we got to be prepared for it, and making sure that we're our budgets are something that we can work with. And I did talk to the county manager and basically told him, I think that all departments need to really think about basically, if we do get less funding, then where would the cut be done in each of the areas? But we just hope that it doesn't go there. But, somehow that's what we're worried about right now as board members. So I just wanted to report that.
Thank you. I think that's everywhere right now.
Judy, this is Kathy. I'm just wondering, what's the reason for the decrease in revenue?
Well, because of the president, he's been saying that we're going to cut Medicare, we're going to cut food stamp, we're going to cut health services, we're going to cut this and that, schools, all of that has been coming up. That's what we're talking about as a board right now.
So does part of the county budget come from the federal side?
Yeah, we have fundings that are coming from the federal side, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
And can I jump in briefly? I think I missed my opportunity earlier to give a council liaison report. I apologize for that. It happened so fast. I didn't want to jump in at the last second. But I just wanted to share, pretty much say the same as Judy. We started our first budget retreat last month. And while everything looks fine with our current set of budgets, looking at the future budgets are a little bit iffy. So I was on a meeting today with Attorney General Chris Mays, and she has successfully stopped the federal administration from putting a major claw on the state of Arizona in a hole, which includes like a $4 billion cut to stopping water from the Colorado River, basically stopping the Colorado River from flowing. They've avoided that through law, and things are going okay in that direction. But every day, including probably right now, this moment, there is a direct threat by our federal government to the state of Arizona that's happening, and that is being defended by our Attorney General as much as possible. But I don't mean to be a gloom and doom scenario kind of guy. I'm just not that kind of guy. But it's, I think, important while we're looking at our, each department's budget, what we can do to, and I know you guys work really hard on getting it right, but now is an unprecedented time. I asked her about, what if they were able to not fund certain projects, such as Forest Service. We're seeing Forest Service being cut and some other places being cut. And we do have a rainy day fund, but we got to remember that that's being controlled by a side of the government in Arizona that doesn't seem to have the same priorities that we do looking for our funding sources. So not to spread too much dread upon the hour, but it was very sobering to me, and I want to impress that upon you guys as well. That at our level, it's a tricky situation. So tread lightly as we move forward, and we'll be here working for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other?
I think we lost Frank.
Frank got frozen.
Hearing none, on the informational items and requests from board members, we've got our agenda for future meetings, which is the director's report and collection management services tour. That's going to be an in-person tour at the March meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe when you send out the agenda, Amelia, if you could put that in the email just to kind of give people a heads up that in person would be better at the next meeting. And then that's the 27th at 1 o'clock. So if that's everything, we can go ahead and adjourn this meeting. It was good to see you all.
Frank, I had one item that we missed in the information. Amelia and I were speaking earlier this week about National Library Week coming up.
Mhm.
And we're going to be doing sending a resolution to City Council in recognition of National Library Week. So we just wanted to mention that to board members. We'll share with this group once we know where we are on the agenda, but would love to have board members present for that.
Yeah, that would be great.
And yeah, Catherine did it last year, and nothing bad happened to her.
I said sit there.
Send out the
That's-
info.
That was a plus. That's good. All
If
right.
anybody would like to carry maybe their cell phone and record the tour of CMS or something like that, for those of us who aren't going to be able to be here in person that day, that'd be cool.
We can surely try.
I'm going to be out of town that day. I can Zoom into the meeting, but I can't be there in person.
And
I got
I don't
you.
think you want a preschooler rolling around, so.
Wouldn't be the first one.
I was gonna say.
I've had all my children while working here, so they've all spent time in the back house of the library.
I mean, mine just tried to ride his bike down the stairs, so.
You don't wear the bike.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Again, good to see you all. And we will see you again in March.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all.